In today's session, we'll be talking about supply and demand levels. Supply and demand levels are simply large areas of selling and buying. More simply, large areas of resistance and support. Before we can identify these levels, we must first identify conviction candles. Conviction candles are candles that have large bodies but little to no wicks on either end of them. These candles are indications of persistent buying and selling in one direction. These candles are generated by hedge funds, banks, investment institutions. These are the candles that we want to be aware of on the chart because they often provide us opportunities to engage in the market. As I navigate through this chart, I'm highlighting these conviction candles with this green circle. The green circle provides me areas that I should focus in on to begin to represent or annotate the chart with supply and demand zones. Now that I've come to the end of identifying these conviction candles, we can then turn our attention to arriving at the supply and demand zones. Since this is a bullish chart, we are going to first start with the supply zones. The supply zones are located at the top end of the chart, and they're depicted in these red horizontal bars. The goal of these bars is to capture the conviction candle and see that candles that come to it are generally rejection candles, candles with wicks, candles that don't close inside those horizontal bars. After we've created the supply zones, we work our way from right to left and begin to arrive at demand levels. Again, looking for conviction candles, followed by rejection candles, candles that may wick into these levels, but do not close into these levels. These are indication or confirmation that you've accurately represented the demand level. As we work our way through to identify these levels provide areas where, as a trader, we would like to participate because these areas are evidence of market participation of participants that move markets. So as we work our way down the chart, we are just horizontally identifying these areas, using the conviction candles as a guide, and using the rejection candles as an indication for the area that we could expect to see the market participant in question. After we've identified these supply and demand zones, we can then turn our attention to see any areas where we've seen a flip in polarity, resistance to support, support to resistance, because oftentimes areas that were once resistant, if broken, become supportive. And areas that were once supportive often become resistant once they are broken. So in this particular case, we found a level that was once resistant and now has become supportive. As you can see here, on the left-hand side, we have a major area of resistance. But as we move our way to the right and we see that that area has been broken in these areas in circles, we see some rejection candles away from this area now becoming supportive. So this concludes our review of arriving at supply and demand zones.